Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'll show you the best battery saving settings to make your phone last 2 days without charging on the REALME P3 Lite. So first, we're gonna open up the settings. Now here in the settings, we want to go over to the battery. Now here in the battery, the first thing we will see is the power saving mode. So if you really care about your battery, or you know that you won't be able to charge your phone for the next, let's say 1 day, 2 days, then you want to go over and enable the battery saver. It will change your refresh rate, so you won't have 120 Hz, you will have the standard 60, and this is good. Now you will definitely feel that the phone is not running as smooth, but you will have the black mode, so the dark mode, everything will be black and it won't be white. And as you guys can see, now after we disable it, every single CPU tweak, so the processor tweak, the chip which is in the phone, is changing back to the default settings. Now if we use the battery saver, then our CPU is going down a lot in performance, so it helps us save the battery. Now what you guys want to do is, let's leave the battery settings for a second and scroll up to the display and brightness. Now here what we want to do is we want to enable either auto brightness or disable it completely and change the brightness ourselves, so it is not that either dark or bright. Now what else we want to do here, we want to go over and change the auto screen off to either 15 seconds or 30 seconds. So I recommend using 15 if you really care about battery that much, but I will use 1 minute for the purpose of recording this video. Now what else we have here, we have the screen refresh rate at the bottom. So as you guys can see, the standard one is the normal one. You guys can definitely notice the difference between those two, and I recommend using auto select, so you will either have 60 Hz when your phone is not doing anything, or 120 when it is using something. So now we have 120, and for an example, now the phone is static and now we have 60. So after that, what else can we do? We can go back to the battery and we have the super power saving mode. Now let's click on it, click on OK, and here is basically the fun part. This mode can last you even more than 2 days. So you have the phone, messages and contacts right here, but you guys can add an app, and when you add something like a game or let's say TikTok for an example, then you will definitely lose battery faster. So you don't want to do that. Now let's click here on this pen and delete the TikTok. We can also delete the contacts and leave the messages in the phone. So now click the check mark to confirm it, and as you guys can see, this way we can get up to 4 days on our battery. So I'll quickly leave the ultra saving mode, and after we go back to the main settings, I'll show you the other tricks on how to preserve the battery. So now we're back at the main page of the settings, and let's scroll down to the battery again. So in the battery settings, what can we do now is go over to power saving settings, and here we can enable the adaptive battery. So whenever you use an app that drains a lot of battery, then you will have the battery manager step in and detect those apps. So this is very important to enable it. Now the standby optimization, you guys can optimize these apps for your liking. So the standby sleep, wake up and network data optimization. So you guys can optimize the app or stop optimizing it, but I recommend keeping all apps optimized because it's very good for your battery. Now we have close apps when screen is closed. This is very important. You will not receive notifications or anything else. You may receive ones, but they either are delayed or they just don't come through. So you guys can select the apps that you want to have open when the screen is closed. For an example, Instagram, if you're waiting for an important DM, or anything else basically. So this is what you guys can do to preserve the battery. Now, the up launch management, you guys can disable the secondary launch because it will help with saving the power and the memory of your device. But functions that are relying on the secondary launch, they may not be working. So the last one is the power intensive apps. Basically, it will detect an app that is power intensive and uses a lot of battery. So this is the same as the battery manager. So it will detect when apps are draining battery, and here you will have the power intensive apps. So these are definitely the best settings. As you guys can see, the power saving mode is especially for our liking. So we can turn it off at 90% and turn it on at 25%. But if you really care about that battery, then make sure that it's enabled 24/7. And that's how you guys can get your phone up to 2 or more days of the battery without charging. So that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.